Mary Earps. I just want to know, first off, what was your personal reaction when you found out Mary wasn't going to be playing for England anymore?
I was surprised and just really sad. I think Mary's an incredible person, an incredible goalkeeper, and I don't really know many people who have worked as hard as she has. So I think I'm just sad that she's not going to be here. Really, I always look forward to seeing her, and I think I played with her about 10 years ago at Birmingham, and I felt like she was a goalkeeper that never really got much support or anything, and she continued to work so hard to get to where she has. And I think it's admirable, her ability to just keep pushing and pushing and get to the level that she has. So yeah, I'm really sad that she's not going to be there.
I know Mary was here yesterday to sort of say goodbye to everyone. What was that like? Because it must have been quite difficult.
Yeah, I think, first it was nice to see her. And then, I think it was a little bit tough, but I can imagine it was tougher for her than it was for anyone else. So we just try to be there, support her, and be together as a team.
From the footballing perspective, it's obviously very surprising, isn't it? Because England don't have a lot of experience in that department. You're a defender. Do you not want someone with all that experience that you played with before behind you? How much of a loss is it?
It's a huge loss. She's, like I said, she's an incredible person, an incredible goalkeeper, and she doesn't lack in the confidence department on the pitch. So I think it is really nice to have her behind us. But obviously, we no longer have that. So it's about building those connections with the other goalkeepers that we've got and making sure they're as strong as possible for the Euros and the upcoming games.
And just finally about Mary's journey, I suppose, from kind of being overlooked for a long time to being the best in the world. Just what does it say about her career?
I think it's been incredible. Like I said, I think that she was really overlooked for a long time, and playing for England meant so much to her. I think you could see it every time she put the top on. So I think she's made some incredible achievements on the pitch and off the pitch. I think people maybe forget that what she's done for the women's game off the pitch is phenomenal, particularly goalkeepers. I don't think they get much love, and I think that the way that she's helped to raise women's football in this country is unbelievable, and I wish her all the best in everything she does next.
Jess, how are you? Obviously, you've had a bit of a stop-start season out in the States, but you're back in the team you're playing now. You've won the sort of Champions Cup recently as well. So just how are you coming into the squad? Because there's a lot of competition going for that final 23.
Yeah, there's a lot of competition. So I'm all good. I think that I'm feeling in a much better place than when I came back in. I think when was it now? February maybe. I think obviously that was my first time having 2 months off, and I would say I probably didn't know how to handle that the best. So I definitely didn't come in ready to go. I think that's maybe played a part in maybe not having as many minutes since then. But yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm well into my season now, and hoping that it's enough to get some more minutes on the pitch.
I know you've been here before. You know what it's like when the squad gets whittled down and there's weeks up building up to it. But it can't be pleasant, can it, when you've got all your teammates out there who you like, who you get on with, and yet at the same time, 4 of them ain't going to Switzerland in the summer.
I mean, when you put it like that, no, it's not. But to be honest, it's not something I think about yet. The squad announcement, I don't even know when it is, to be honest. I just focus on what I'm doing today, tomorrow, and the next game. And for me, it's like hopefully I can do enough to be part of that final squad. And I think every single player here will work so hard to make sure that they are there as well.
Thanks, Jess.
Cool, thank you.
Thanks, Anton. Take questions from the floor. We'll go to Kit.
Hi, Jess. Nice to see you. Obviously, a slightly turbulent time, maybe the last 24 hours with Mary's news, and I suppose at a turbulent time, you really need leaders to step up. Can you just give us a sense of kind of who's been kind of taking the lead and trying to settle things down in the last 24 hours among the squad?
I mean, it's been a day, and it's kind of been fine, to be honest. I think that, we're well aware of what this job is asked of us and how hard and how intense it is. And I think that, when we lost some big leaders in Ellen and Jill before, players have to step up. And I think it's something that we're trying to work on here, and making sure that every player, from the youngest that comes in to the oldest that's there, steps up into a role and tries to deliver more. So it's not about the past 24 hours. It's just about us all as a collective stepping up and being together and doing the best that we can to get positive performances.
Do you feel that responsibility to step up and take a leadership role, not necessarily within the context of the last 24 hours, but I suppose you're not super old, but you're also not super young. You're kind of in that midsection, I suppose.
I don't think I take any more responsibility than anyone else. I think, like I said, it's on all of us. It's not just on our most experienced to step up. It's from every single player. We're all here for the same reason, because we're good enough to be here, and we all need to step up. And I think everyone tries to take more responsibility of that now.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kit. We'll go to Tom and then Sandra. Thank you.
Hi, Jess. Congrats on your success with Congrats on your success with Gotham.
Thank you.
Can I just ask, just to try and get an understanding of how much of a surprise the news was to you? When did you first sort of start to get an inkling that Mary was going to make that announcement?
Yesterday. So yeah, when we found out as a team.
And sort of how would you sum up the kind of the mood when everyone was learning? Was it sort of a shock? How would you sum it up?
I think it was a surprise for some, and maybe not for others. I don't know. I just kind of know how I felt, really. But it was definitely, I think, a surprise, and I think obviously sad for everybody involved. But I think we almost had to move on from it. We've got a game that we need to focus on. We have to do our analysis of the last game that we played and prep for the new one.
And looking ahead to these two games now and the Euros, obviously you know Hannah very well from your time at Chelsea. What attributes will she bring now in goal, and kind of how important is it now that England kind of can rely on her to step up in the big moments?
I think we've got a lot of goalkeepers here that are all excellent goalkeepers. Obviously, I've played with Hannah the most, and she's obviously incredible with her feet. I haven't watched much of the WSL for the last season, so I have no idea how she's doing there, to be honest. But obviously, when she plays for England, I think that she works as hard as she can. And like I said, I think she's got a responsibility to step up and perform, but the same way that the other 25 players have as well. We've all got to step up and perform and do much better than what we have been doing.
And how do you feel in your own form coming into this camp? And can you talk a little bit about the success with Gotham? How pleased are you to be able to enjoy that with your teammates?
Yeah, no, it's amazing. I think I really love where I am and the team I'm at, and I think that it's really important for us as a team to be winning any trophy that we're able to compete for. So obviously that's great for me, and coming in to camp off the back of a win and having kind of regular games is really important.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom. Sandra?
Hi, Jess. Hope you're well. Just following on from some of what you're saying there to Tom and Kit, obviously with Mary Earps, you've got someone who brought a lot of experience and I guess probably a lot of character and a big influence within the dressing room. Just how will, I guess, your teammates go about kind of filling that kind of void that's not going to be there, I guess, particularly in terms of the Euros?
I guess the same way we had to after the last Euros, when we had some real big characters leaving. I think that again it just goes back to everybody having to step up, doing that little bit extra on and off the pitch to make sure we continue to work to be the most together team that we can be and put in the best performances.
And just following on, and congrats on your win with Gotham City, but just following on from that, but then also, the camp's going to have players who've won the Women's Champions League, particularly performing well against players from Spain. How important is it that you've had your success, but then you've also got teammates who've had that success in the Champions League, looking ahead to Portugal and Spain, and then also the Euros?
It's really important. We want to have players in this team who have won trophies, and they can bring so much experience from those wins. And I think that it only makes this team better by having players who have had a lot of success and a lot of experiences to go off. And if I can play and compete with other players who have won incredible things as well, I think we'll only strengthen our squad, knowing that whoever you put out on the pitch is ready, has competed at the highest level, I think is only a great thing for the squad.
And one more in terms of Mary, obviously she talks about wanting the younger generation to have the chance to shine, but obviously you've got young players coming through. How do you then, I guess, help them when you lose the presence of someone like Mary in the camp? I
think we just try and encourage the youngsters to just be themselves. I think that sometimes they forget that they're also here for a reason. They are here because they've earned the right just the same way everybody else has. So trying to encourage youngsters just come in, work really hard and make themselves known. Look at Michelle. She got called up last second in the last camp, got an absolute worldie, and she's earned the right to be here again. So I think that Michelle is a perfect example of why we want the younger generation to be up here and what they can deliver.
Thanks, Sandra. We're going to Tara first, and then we'll come across.
Hey, Jess, I hope you're okay. I was just hoping if you could give me a bit of a sense of what was your kind of reaction about Mary's announcement. Just, was there any surprise about how close it was to the Euros, being only 5 weeks away?
I think that initially the Euros didn't even cross my mind. I think my focus was just on the news of Mary leaving. I think that is, like I said, it's just really sad. I don't even think about the Euros. I think firstly, the bravery that she has to have stayed true to herself and make the decision to leave, I think we forget. And obviously, you guys don't know she don't play the sport. This is such a tough job to do, and for club, for country. And I think people forget that sometimes. It's not. And yes, it's a team sport, but ultimately, you need to be the best version of you in order for the team to be successful. And I think it's really brave for the decision that she's made. And sometimes it's not just about the team; it's also about you. And yeah, I just really, like I said, I'm really sad about it, but I really wish her all the best in whatever she does next with. Obviously, she's still playing, but life outside of international football.
Thanks, Jess. Good luck.
Thank you. We'll go across.
Hi, my name is Ella. I am from German television, so I have the different perspective of the Euro. We have a new situation. Maybe you will play. Last Euro you didn't play that much, but this time you will play probably against your fiancee and Catherine. And I ask myself sometimes how it works. Do you try to find out some secrets, some internals? You talk about a lot about football?
No, not at all, to be honest. When we go home, I don't really like to speak about football outside of football, because when I go home, I just want to go home, and she's quite the same. So no, we don't. To be honest, we don't really care what anyone is doing in another team, and we have no interest in discussing anything that's really happening on camp. As long as she's okay, she's doing well. I don't really care what's going on in the German camp, and she feels the same way.
What do you think about the German team this year? Who will be for you the maybe most uncomfortable opponent, or how good is the team?
With the utmost respect to Germany, like I said, I don't really pay much attention to another team. Obviously, I'm well aware that they are a young team and that they've had some incredible results, and they were very tough when we had to play them. But my focus is only really ever on what we can do as a team, and I truly believe that if we have the right tactics and we stick to the game plan and we all turn up on the day, I think that we can be a really successful team.
And also one last question to the personal reaction. Lucy Bronze, because I am doing the portrait about her, met public her autism and ADHD diagnosis. How was the reaction, your reaction, or how is she as a person?
Lucy's great. She's energetic. She's hardworking, possibly the most competitive human I've ever come across, which I think shows when she just turns up game after game, camp after camp, and continues to put in incredible performances for both club and country. So I think Lucy's great. I think having her directness in the camp is really important, because I think being vocal is really important. And she definitely brings that. She's got so much leadership, and yet she's still youthful and hangs out with all the youngsters as much as she can as well. So I think she's got a really great balance, and she's a huge player for England.
She told me about the super hyper focus because of the autism, because of that what she has. Is she? How is your experience with her on the field? Is it something special, something different to other players?
I think she has an incredible mentality. I think there's a lot of people that maybe don't have that, but her mentality is incredible, and I think that really helps to drive the team to want to win just the same way that she does. And I think that she has so much experience that it only benefits the rest of the team.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, we'll just go behind you. Thanks.
How will it feel not having Mary Earps screaming behind you in a defensive moment?
Maybe a little bit calmer. I'm joking. I think that I love having a goalkeeper behind me that doesn't stop talking. I think I definitely have recorded a few times where I've told her like she can chill a little bit, but I think it just, like I've said before, it gives us so much confidence. And I think that the confidence is key when playing, and knowing that she's there and talking and helping organise is really great.
How will your defence and strategy change with a different keeper? How will difference if you play under Mary Earps behind you or Hannah Hampton behind you?
Probably a question I have to ask for Serena. They do the game plan, but for me, I don't think anything changes. We still try to do the same things as a team. Mary playing, Hannah playing, regardless of who's in goal. I think we just stick to our game plan, and I don't think it changes based on the keeper that's in goal, because I think we've got excellent keepers at England that can all step up.
Final question. There's around 16 players in this England squad who've been in a final, or won a final. How much impact does those players having been to a final, win trophies, bring confidence ahead of the Euros?
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, I think it's incredible. We want players in this team who have won competitions, and I think that experience of knowing how to win is invaluable. And we're really going to rely on those players who have won trophies when it gets to to those tough games and we're having to find a way to win, I think you probably don't really learn some of those tactics on how to win until you've won, until you've played against teams where you're the underdog and come out on top. So I think the experience of winning a trophy is invaluable.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Unless there are any final questions, we will end there. Thanks for your time, everyone.
Cool. Thank you.
Cheers.